Surrounded by the sparkling waters and soaring mountains of the Alaskan Panhandle is Juneau, a beautiful state capital that can only be reached by plane or boat. This former gold mining town still holds riches beyond with its jaw-dropping scenery, untouched wilderness, and charming city center. After a very long and rocky 36 hours on our Alaskan cruise, we finally pulled up to Juneau, which was the very first dock we'd reached since we started sailing. From 10 o'clock a.m. to 10 o'clock p.m., we had the chance to hop off board and go and explore Juneau to all of our heart's desire. And to make the most out of those quick 12 hours, we sat down and researched the best things to do. And across the board, everyone was saying you have to go on a whale watching tour. So we made that the big highlight of our day. But before hopping off the ship, we went up to the 11th floor to enjoy an all-you-can-eat breakfast buffet. We've walked just about 30 minutes from the downtown Juneau area, and we're heading towards the Gold Creek Flume trailhead. And it looks like we might have the trail all to ourselves because everyone on the cruise has kind of stayed in that downtown area. So it's incredibly quiet up here. You can just hear water running, birds chirping. This air is some of the sweetest air I've ever inhaled. It's as good as the air in Montana and Idaho. It's just like that alpine sweetness that's kind of flowing all around us. I can't stop taking deep breaths of it in.
So we mentioned in our last video that we got these patches from Claire's sister that help with motion sickness. But one of the side effects is that it makes our mouths so dry. So we've been really struggling talking to the camera today because I feel like I need a sip of water every 1 minute. But anyways, we're still trucking along. It's getting more and more forested, and I think we've made it to the trailhead.
So something we quickly came to realize about the cities and the towns in Alaska is just how intertwined they are with nature. You could walk just 30 minutes from a city center and be greeted by majestic mountains and a plethora of wildlife. And it really is why it's known as the last frontier. There's just so much untouched land. And because we were exploring Southeast Alaska through a cruise, we didn't have a car to drive us farther out from the city. But honestly, the simple trail that was within walking distance from the port was more than enough to kind of show us the natural beauty that Juneau does have to offer. So if you do find yourself in Juneau, we highly recommend you going beyond the shops that are near the dock and finding a local trail. There is so much to explore and so much to hike, and the beauty of the natural landscape is just astounding. It felt so good to stretch our legs after being out on the waters for over a day and a half, so that hike was really rejuvenating. But following that hike was the big destination highlight of the day, which was a whale watching tour. So my sister's parents-in-law were so kind as to treat us all to venture out to see the whales, and we were so grateful to have been invited on that excursion. And let me tell you, Mother Nature was definitely on our side that day. First off, the skies were blue and sunny, a rather rare sight to see in Alaska altogether, but especially in the autumn season. So we felt extremely fortunate to be sailing in such pristine conditions. We were also visiting Alaska at the end of the tourist season, meaning there really weren't many other tourists out on the water with us. The boat for the tour was a larger boat with 2 levels, so on the downstairs there was indoor seating as well as a tiny concession stand that offered complimentary donut holes, hot chocolate, crackers and dip. You know, we were feasting up on all of those tasty snacks. And then up on the second floor there was also some indoor seating, but it was mostly an open air deck. So you could walk around freely and breathe in the delightful ocean air as you take in the 360 views of the Alaskan beauty. And after sailing out for not too long, honestly, we came across our very first humpback whale. So when we saw our first humpback whale, we thought we were super lucky because whale sightings on these kinds of tours are never guaranteed. So much so that the tour offered to refund a portion of the cost if no whales were to be seen. But that certainly wasn't the case for our tour. We just started to see more and more humpback whales breaching, blowing water up from their blowholes, flicking their tails up before diving down deep. And I kid you not, there were literally a dozen humpback whales surrounding us at one point. This afternoon we were able to see so many whales. I want to say like at least 8 to 10 to 12.
Yeah, there was just so many little blowhole spouts off in the distance.
Yeah.
It was like fireworks. That's what I was comparing it to.
Oh yeah, and then you get to see their tail going up and then down into the water. It was a really magical experience, and all the ones that we saw today were humpback whales. And according to our captain, the conditions for today were extremely rare.
Yeah, because apparently where we're at is actually a temperate rainforest, so most of the time it's going to be raining, drizzling, kind of cloudy, but visibility today has been insane. The weather is amazing. It's like 60 something.
Yeah.
Feels so good.
And there were also no other boats really out in the water, so we were able to turn the engine off and just float with the whales for a solid 30 minutes, which was just, it was just amazing.
Yeah, it was really fun because you never know where they're going to pop up. We made it back on board the ship, and upon arrival they gave me a little cup of chai, so I'm sipping on that before we head over to dinner. But after dinner we're actually going to be going to a magic show, so I am really excited to see what that looks like. But we're actually running a little bit late and we're meeting the rest of the family down there, so we're going to head out.
So one of our favorite parts of the Alaska cruise was actually the food on the ship. The menu was ever changing and they offered things like rack of lamb, filet mignon, lobster tail, like so many really exquisite dishes. And on this specific night, we enjoyed one of the best meals on board. Now, the thing about cruises is there's no limit as to how much you can order. And if you are like us, people who want to get the most out of their money, the most out of their dining package, you might just eat more than you've ever eaten in your entire life. And the funny part was, Chad and I had that same mindset. You know, we both want to get the most bang out of our buck. And we were basically each other's biggest cheerleaders, like saying, go for it, you're on this cruise, you should just take full advantage of all the amenities, all the food. And so we were kind of like the devil on each other's shoulders, just cheering on for that second dessert, that second entree, that third drink, and oh my goodness, like, We definitely ate way more than we should have, but you know, no regrets. It was amazing, delicious food. I just can't stop thinking about some of those dishes, and honestly, oh, the molten lava cake that we got at the end of this meal, oh, the things I would do to taste that again. It was so, so tasty.
So we just made it back from the magic show, and that was such a fun and immersive experience. It was a lot more than I expected. He was like dangling from the ceiling at one point.
Yeah, in like one of those suits.
Straight jacket.
Yeah, they like tie you up. And he was dangling from the ceiling for like a solid...
Squirming for a minute to get out of it.
Yeah.
So then he got out of it, but then he's still dangling there. I was like, okay.
And then he got his feet off.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa. I think it was one of the moves that Houdini did back in the day, but it's just cool to see it in real life. So that was fun.
Yeah, but as I've been reflecting on the day, it's just been a very interesting one. I started the day, I went on a run. I went to a workout with brother-in-law, and then we went on a hike, had a lot of good food, saw some whales, watched a magic show, ate more good food. And that's what it's like to be on a cruise.
Yeah, you really never know what's gonna come for you. And there's so many things on the itinerary that you can just pick and choose what suits you. So
it's been fun.
Yeah, we'll just see what else comes our way. But if you want to see where we're going next, hit subscribe. We're actually going to Skagway in the next video. And we have some really exciting things planned. So with all that said, we'll catch you on the next one. Bye!